The sun rose over the Nile not as a friend, but as a silent witness to a nation in agony. For 400 years, the dust of Egypt had mixed with the sweat of the sons of Abraham. The promises of old seemed like fading echoes against the sharp crack of the Egyptian lash. Pharaoh said he sat upon a throne of gold, his heart hardening like the basalt statues that lined his halls. He looked out over the sprawling city of Ramses and saw not a people, but a threat. "They are too many," he whispered to his advisors, the shadows of the palace stretching like claws. "If war comes, they will join our enemies and rise against us from within." Before we continue with this incredible journey of faith, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss other amazing biblical stories like this one. And so, the decree was written in ink that smelled of blood and iron. Every Hebrew mother who felt the stirrings of life was now a woman marked by tragedy. The midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, walked the narrow alleys of Goshen with heavy hearts. They were commanded to kill the sons at birth, but they feared the living God more than the king of Egypt. In a small mud brick hut near the edge of the marshes, a woman named Jochebed waited. She felt the strength of the child within her, a rhythmic pulse that defied the darkness of the world. Amram, her husband, stood at the door, his eyes scanning the horizon for the glint of Egyptian bronze. When the moment of birth arrived, the room was filled not with a scream, but with a holy silence. Jochebed looked upon her son and saw that he was no ordinary child. He was radiant with a strange divine light. For 3 months, the family lived in a world of whispers and shadows. Miriam, the eldest daughter, stood guard at the gate, her ears tuned to the rhythm of marching boots. Every time the baby stirred, Jochebed would press him to her heart, praying the silence would hold. But a child cannot be hidden forever. His voice grew stronger, a herald of a destiny that could not be contained. Jochebed sat by the river one evening, her fingers weaving the stalks of papyrus into a small, sturdy vessel. She wept as she applied the black bitumen, sealing the gaps so the river could not enter. This was not a basket of abandonment. It was an ark of faith, built on the hope of a God who sees. She placed the boy inside, kissing his forehead before closing the lid on her own heart. The Nile was a god to the Egyptians, but to Jochebed, it was the last hope for her son's survival. She pushed the ark into the reeds, letting the gentle current take the weight of her miracle. Miriam did not run home. She stood in the tall grass, a small sentinel watching over the future of her people. The morning mist began to lift, revealing the royal gardens where the princess of Egypt walked. She was the daughter of the man who signed the death warrant, yet her heart was not made of stone. As she approached the water's edge, the golden light hit the dark ark hidden among the green stalks. "Bring it to me," she commanded, her voice cutting through the morning birdsong. When the lid was lifted, the baby's cry reached across the divide of race, status, and law. In that moment, the princess chose mercy over her father's crown. "This is one of the Hebrews' children," she said, her voice soft with a sudden maternal warmth. Miriam stepped forward, her heart pounding against her ribs like a drum. "Shall I find a woman of the Hebrews to nurse him for you, great lady?" The princess nodded, and the girl ran with the speed of a gazelle to the hut of her mother. Jochebed returned to the riverbank, her face veiled to hide the tears of joy that threatened to overflow. The princess handed her the child and said, "Nurse him for me, and I shall pay you your wages." For the next few years, Moses was raised in the house of slaves, fed on the milk of his own mother and the stories of his people. He learned of the God of the burning bush, the God of the covenant, and the God of the Exodus to come. But the day arrived when the boy had to be returned to the palace, to the world of stone and gold. He walked through the massive gates of Pharaoh's court, a child of the mud entering the house of the sun. The princess named him Moses, for he was drawn from the water to eventually draw a nation from the fire. In the halls of Egypt, he was taught the wisdom of the stars, the art of war, and the language of kings. He wore the linens of a prince, but beneath the finery, the heartbeat of a Hebrew remained steady. He would walk the parapets of the city and look down at the backs of his brothers, bent double under the weight of stone. The conflict within him grew like a storm, a prince of Egypt who felt the lash of the slave on his own skin. One day, the tension broke, and the prince saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew worker. The blood of the oppressed called out to the blood in his veins, and Moses struck back. In that one act of defiance, the prince became an exile, fleeing the only home he had ever known. He ran into the vast, unforgiving silence of the Midian desert, leaving behind the throne for the shepherd's staff. For 40 years, the desert would be his teacher, stripping away the pride of Egypt to reveal the man of God. He tended sheep near the mountain of Horeb, finding peace in the solitude of the wilderness. But the God of the Hebrews had not forgotten the cries of the brickfields or the prayers of Jochebed. One afternoon, the horizon glowed with a fire that did not consume the bush it occupied. Moses drew near, removing his sandals, for the ground he stood on had become holy. The voice that spoke from the flame was the same voice that had sustained his mother by the river. I have seen the affliction of my people, and I have heard their cry. The child drawn from the Nile was now the man sent to divide the sea. The story of the birth of Moses is the story of how a small basket can carry the weight of a nation's freedom. It is the story of how God uses the weak things of the world to confound the mighty. From the mud of Goshen to the throne of Pharaoh, the hand of providence moved in silence, and the river that was meant for death became the highway for the greatest deliverance in history. The shadows of the pyramids grow long, but the light of the promise never dims. Moses, the son of the water, would soon become the father of a free people. The journey that began in a reed basket would end at the gates of the promised land. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of children hidden in the reeds. And the God who watched the basket still watches the world today. Thank you for watching this story of Moses. If this message inspired you, please subscribe to our channel for more biblical stories. Like this video and share it with someone who needs a reminder that God is always watching.